Hello, this is Helper Gal here. It's August 8th, 2020, and time for another head zapping session. Hooray! I am doing okay today, I reckon. I got mildly triggered by some silly question on the internet that asked about bullying, and when I was a child, I had a great deal of bullying, and so whenever I'm asked about it, it can rile me up a tiny bit. Um, Other than that, I'm okay. I've been trying to sew. I'm in my nice cozy room, and I am watching old movies and mangling clothes, and that's the type of thing I do throughout my day. Mangle clothes, watch old movies, sew dolls. Sometimes. Maybe I'll sew some dolls today. That would be a good idea. It's very, very hot outside. Maybe I'll go ride my bike after the sun goes down. Oh, see. I have nothing very interesting to talk about. Just another episode of Head Zapping Day. I think I skipped a day or two. I'm not sure. But it's okay when you've been using the device for a while to skip days. But don't skip too many, or you will relapse. That's what I do anyway. So hopefully I'm on the right track with head zapping, and I hope it's in the right positions on my head. The sponges are. It's one thing I've always been kind of curious about because the instructions make references to sideburns, and I don't know where my sideburns would be. I think the bottom of the sponge is supposed to be slightly above the top of my ear. It would be funny if I was just using this thing the wrong way the entire time. But I see this, everything is shaking, so it must be right. Yes. Good old head zapping time. Maybe I'll show off some more dolls to make this video more interesting. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Here are some dolls. This is a Madame Alexander doll, and the rubber bands came undone, so the whole thing is in pieces. But it's the Madame Alexander cowgirl doll. If they're in good shape, they used to fetch quite a pretty penny. This is a brandless dollhouse doll. She's like a mom, kind of a maternal sort of figure. She's got high heels, and she was probably made to go in a dollhouse. And ooh, she's a little creepy. But just because her eyes are milky. If I hold a blow dryer to her eyes, supposedly that might make the milkiness go away. There is Pinocchio. When I was a kid, I was obsessed with Pinocchio, and I would dress like Pinocchio. And if anybody asked me what my name was, I would say I was Pinocchio. True story. It was made for Walt Disney, distributing by copyright Walt Disney Productions. Made in Hong Kong. It was made for the Florida parks. It's probably a souvenir from the Florida Disney park. I get them confused. I don't know if it's Disneyland or Disney World in Florida or California because I've never been to either of those places, nor will I ever end up going, most likely. I don't care, really. This is a doll by, F&B from 1988. I think she's supposed to be Sleeping Beauty. She's kind of like a Ginny style doll. I'll have to look her up some more. Her hair is kind of a mess. Her dress is nice. She's been played with. Not by me, though. This doll I hear is from Finland, I think. And she's probably from the 40s in Finland. Yeah, she's fairly old. I think it was Finland. I will have to look that up. I sent a picture of her into my costume doll company. They said something about her. Here is a composition dress-up doll, which means that this one is a pretty old one. Uh, she's got a split in her head, and she's got a lovely little turban, and a very neat little homemade dress, and no other markings to be, but she's made out of like hard plastic. There's she's one of the older dress-up dolls that I have. She's kind of neat. I like her hot pink dress. This doll used to have. This doll used to have and it's another hard plastic dress-up doll, and she used to have a little band around her leg stating that she was a souvenir from Salem, Massachusetts. I think that's what it said. But I could be wrong. Maybe there's a little piece of her leg tag hiding in the box. But it's another old hard plastic dress-up doll, probably from the 50s, maybe the 40s. Maybe I'm. I forget where I was told these dolls were from, but I used to have some larger mask face dolls that were like this, and they were beautiful. This is a smaller one, and somewhere in Europe. Uh, yes, this doll is from Europe. Pretty sure. Yes. Uh, these are next things I'm going to show you are nut dolls. If anybody knows anything about these things, I would like to hear it. These are made of hard plastic or celluloid and or celluloid, and he's like a little cow hand puppet. And I have a few of these. I guess they might have come in cereal. They're like cereal box prizes or something like that. I have this one. I have this crazy duck. Hold on, let me get him on my hand. He's all sorts of in bad shape. He's all stained and stuff. But he's got this cool little jacket, and can move his head straight, and his eyes kind of wink. So I'm not sure what these are from. They're not branded or anything, but I imagine there's some kind of a prize, or like a cheap prize that was given out someplace. This is a little celluloid. I guess this is celluloid doll, like a little sort of. She's made of this rough, this like poofy material, plastic material, and she was probably a cheap prize of some sort as well. I like her. I used to have her on a hat that I wore, and she's very sturdy. She held up. No splits or cracks or anything. I've got another cow. I would really like to know where these came from because I have no idea. It's a little green cow. I like the little green cow. I like his little walking, his little uniform. It's very cute. I guess that would doesn't have udders, so I guess he's a bull. He's a bull who walks on hind legs. Yeah, like so. Next, I have. Ooh, just ahead from a doll. I know where part of the doll's body is, but she was incomplete when I got her. Then I've got a clown with a cloth body, but the same type of plastic. It's a little bit more malleable. Maybe it's a different type of plastic, but it's still kind of vintage. The vintage clown hand puppet with kind of an older plastic. I would say 50s. That would be my guess. Um, Another costume doll that's made more of this like composition type material than like the more modern costume dolls. Um, I need to look up the history of them to see when they started making them out of this cheaper plastic. She's got very luminous eyes, I think, and but she's made of, yeah, like this hard, harder, older type plastic material. This is a little novelty doll from the 60s, and when you squeeze her stomach, she would smoke a cigarette. That's not true. She's supposed to do something, but I forget what it was. Okay, this is an even older costume doll. She's made out of, I guessed composition on that other one, but I was probably wrong. That was hard plastic. This one is definitely more of a composition material. This one is much older than the other dolls, the other costume dolls that I showed you. And she has a very elaborate costume. Alas, she has no arms. I have arms I have a bunch of arms for these dolls, but I need to figure out how to string them properly. And she's got the straight legs, and yeah, she's considerably older than the other one I showed you. I've always liked this one because it's kind of androgynous, but I guess it was designed for the person to add the costume and the hair to if they wanted to. So the reason the hair is like this is because it could be either a male or a female once you put the costume on, and you could add hair if you wanted to. But it's slightly newer, so it's made out of uh, harder, thinner plastic, or this thinner plastic, but still fairly old. I would say 60s, perhaps. I could be wrong on all of this, really. Here's another one of the older ones, but not as old as the painted one. Somebody obviously hand crocheted this beautiful dress for her, and she's made out of uh, this old hard plastic. And they used to sell these dolls at Woolworths when I was a kid, and that was not that long ago. That was in the 80s. But this is a much older version of the doll than the ones that were at Woolworths in the 80s. In fact, I think they still make them, if I'm not mistaken. This is a very cheap plastic doll, maybe from the 60s. Um, does she have any kind of marking at all? No. I think I've heard these called ponytail dolls. I'll ask my doll group and see what they say shortly. Yes. But I she's quite I'm pretty sure she's fairly generic, and I think they call them ponytail dolls. I could be wrong. I like her little knickers. She's got very nicely done little knickers on, and her dress is neat, but it's not really removable. It's stitched all the way up. So perhaps the dress was made for the doll. Maybe the doll was made to be dressed. I really don't know a thing about her, but I think she's neat. More Pee-wee dolls. I probably showed some other Pee-wee dolls than the last time I showed dolls. These are some that I have that are mint in their packages. And I should probably sell them. Yes. One, two, three, four. Four little celluloid baby dolls, and like what looks like a gummy bear. It reminds me of a gummy bear. It's like a cheap plastic bear. I kept them like that. And this is just a cheap plastic figurine that just happened to be in the box. I don't know. There's probably, and there's no marking on it. It's plastic. Nobody cares about it. Okay, well, that's a bunch of dolls, and my zapper machine is still going on. I will find something else to show you in the meantime. I can't believe 16 minutes have already passed. Time passes so strangely these days, especially when you don't, like, have a job and stuff like that, the way that I don't. Maybe I'll make some dolls and I'll show them off at my next session. Yeah. I guess I'll end this video and wait for this thing to peter out to the end. It should beep off at any minute. Yes. So thank you for watching. Have a good day.